Yeah, it's your boy Ray on the mic. Let's go.
Mic check, mic check. Welcome to On the Mic with Ray White, where we share life lessons, encourage self-reflection, and equip you to take action. My name is Ray White, and I am juiced that you're taking time to listen to this episode today. And this is another episode of the OTM sound check, where you get my reactions, reflections, and perspectives on just the things that we're going through in life, and reminders as well, because a lot of times we just need to be reminded of the things we already know. And as you may picked up on, this podcast is just a full of reminders for me personally that I hope give you some reminders too, and things that you already know, so you can take action in the day-to-day and action that you want to accomplish. And while I was recording this episode, or thinking about the recording of this episode, there is it's something I gotta confess to you all right? Which is good nowadays. I would say about 5 years ago, people would be like, what, you do this? But here it is, right? I watched The Bachelor. I watched The Bachelorette. I watched Bachelor in Paradise. The whole Bachelor Nation thing, I'm all about that life. And okay, look. Yeah, again, like I said, it's cool nowadays. You know, everybody watching The Bachelor, everybody has some tie to The Bachelor. But I am into the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that drama really gets you. It just grasps you to be like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Yeah, that's the biggest drama thing that I watch on a regular basis. I mean, sure, there's some other shows, but consistently when it comes around, my wife and I are both like, do we really want to watch it? And then we end up watching it, and then we're like, okay, what's going on here? So yes, I am a part of the Bachelor Nation. Don't ask me on who was on season 7, who was the Bachelor for season 7. I don't know all that. I just like, in the moment, the drama that ensues during that time. And it's fascinating because over the last 4 to 5 years that I've been watching all of the series in which The Bachelor is a part of, you pick up on certain cues, right? You pick up on certain things that is like, okay, we know how this is going to play out. For example, whenever somebody is talking about, and especially when a guy is saying, it's part of the Bachelorette season, a guy is like, oh yeah, that dude over there he's not here for the right reasons, and I'm going to tell the Bachelorette why he's not there for the right reasons. You're like, okay, we know what's happening. Like, we know how this is going to play out. You're going to tell her how I think so-and-so is not there for the right reasons. And then the Bachelorette is going to have to feel compelled to be like the camp counselor who goes in and says, all right, campers, y'all ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You ain't here for the right reasons. So I'm going to weed people out. I'm going to cut the cocktail hour. I'm going to, do my investigation to understand who's really here for love. Okay, right? There are other scenarios that get picked up are people who are there just for the drama or just for their own platform to be built. Because as we've seen, anybody who goes on The Bachelor, especially the deeper that they go, the bigger their platform gets, and they get more opportunities, more sponsor deals. They go on Bachelor in Paradise if they don't get selected, all that kind of stuff. And sadly, too, the whole Bachelor Nation, I'm getting deep into this, but the whole Bachelor Nation, a lot of the relationships don't really last. It's lovey-dovey. It's great at first sight for the first 10 weeks that we see, or 3 weeks that they're on the show, or what have you. But, unfortunately, once the camera turns off and it gets reality after the proposal, a lot of relationships don't really last, and they break up, and then you find them on Bachelor in Paradise or what have you because of their relationship. That's not why I'm talking to you about The Bachelor at all. Talk to me about some theories. Shout out to the operas who got me hooked with their brackets, Bachelor brackets. If you haven't been a part of that, that's dope. I want some money. I came in second place one time. Anyway, that's not the whole reason. The reason why that The Bachelor is becoming, and the whole nation, The Bachelor is becoming a topic for this episode, is this concept of time. Another thing that continues to be drawn out is every person who does their interviews are talking about, like, my goal is to get as much time as I can with the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, or they're frustrated because they didn't get enough time with that individual to show that they are worthy to be loved or to be their fiance or be their husband and wife or what have you. Time continues to be the currency for these individuals who are contestants on this show. And if they feel that if they get more time with the Bachelor, Bachelorette, that it will bode well for them to be their fiance. And I process that quite a bit because I think that there's something to think about in that season, right? Or in that concept that fighting for time is something that we all need to do. Now, I'm not saying that we need to fight for time for to our people to see us, right? Or to be visible, be present in the space. But I think what I'm really going to get to is that that's the one currency that we all have that we should never waste. We should never waste time with the things that we want to go after, or the people that we want to build relationships with, or the dreams that we have set for ourselves, or the activities that we want to be a part of. We should never be in a position where we waste time, because there's some validity in that. If we have more time to get in front of that activity, that event, that person, whatever, we could see a greater bond, a greater relationship, a greater sense of fulfillment to some context, right? There's a lot of nuance to that, but the fulfillment in like we are doing what we are purposely designed to do. Again, you can go in multiple directions with that, but where I really want to focus in on is that we don't have that much time. That may sound a little morbid, that may sound a little odd and weird, but if we were to truly live as every day is our last, what would we be doing? Would we be trying to please somebody who doesn't really want us, or who doesn't really know who we are? Will we be doing tasks that have nothing to do with what we desire to do or passionate to do? Would we be focused on activities that bear no fruit and have no sense of desire or goal or fulfillment within us? And that's not to say, again, drop everything and go do what you love, because there's some people who live in that camp. I know that there's some responsibilities that we need to make sure we obtain, but how I see that is this whole idea of fighting for time. I want to make sure I'm fighting for time with my family, that I am focused 100% solely on the time that I've allotted with them is dedicated to them. I want to make sure that I focus time on this gift that I have, or to develop this gift that I've been given. I'm a man of faith, so I believe that God has given us a purpose here on this earth, and from a macro and a micro level. And so as I'm understanding from a macro level to love God, love people, and serve His kingdom, on a micro level, I'm recognizing that, my gifts of speaking, my gifts of engaging in community and building relationships, of discernment, of administration, of just being in community. How do I living out those gifts in the present that I'm currently at today? Am I dedicating enough time to developing those effectively for our community and for the kingdom? Am I just truly fighting for time and the relationships that I built with my friends and family? And that's all. That is something that is taking me a minute to process. And for transparency and a timestamp date, I'm currently 31, and some say there's a lot of time ahead of me, and there's some that say that time is short. But I don't want to necessarily get to the end of the road and think, dang, I wish I would have, or I should have fought for more time in that space. Or I put my focus in the wrong spaces that didn't bear any fruit. Like I didn't put enough time in the areas that would bear fruit. I put too much time in the areas that didn't. Historically, I used to, and this still creeps up every once in a while, but people pleasing is one of the big areas that I struggle with. So I put too much time into making sure that I please the people around me versus focusing in on what is the moral compass that I've set for myself, or what are the things that I truly want to take initiative in and say that this is where I want to go, and not try to please you, but please me, but more so please God in the actions that I do, right? So if there's anything in the Bachelor Nation that I have learned over the course of 5 years that I've been watching the shows, is that it's important that we do fight for time, and it's important that we keep the focus of, the eye on the prize, keep the main thing in front of us. But if we all have this currency of time that we currently are cashing in on a regular basis, what are we devoting our time to? And are we truly fighting for us to be in front of that thing, those people, in front of that activity, that dream, that desire on a regular basis? And are we giving enough time to that? And if not, what are we going to do? Are we going to reevaluate our actions, activities, or goals to ensure that we meet that? Are we going to have tough conversations with ourselves and people around us to ensure that we are getting the right time to the things that we said that we want to give time to? Are we willing to let things go, knowing that it's not going to bear us any fruit and not going to give us anything that's going to produce quality? Are we going to not give our time to those things that are pleasing of other people, or rumors, gossip that's demoralizing or demeaning to another person? Are we wasting time on all those things? Are we wasting time just to waste time? Or who is pushing us to make sure that our time is invested well in the right things that's going to propel us and reach us to our goals and dreams and what we've set out to be here to do in this world, to do in this earth? So that's the thought I want to give to you. Don't ask me about the love interests that are going on in The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I don't know. But I do like the drama. Every time it comes on, I'm like, okay, let me tune in. And once it's gone, it's gone. And I'm like, I don't even think about it. But let's have a conversation about what we are investing our time in, and are we fighting for the right things that we said that we were going to invest our time to, and what parameters and guardrails are we going to set up for ourselves to ensure that we are putting the right time in the right places at the right moments, and encourage each other in that space as well. All right. So let me know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Raymond D. White, you can follow the On the Mic podcast there, and all the musings I'm a part of in developing this gift. Let me know what you think on that. You can follow the podcast. You can listen to it on audio streams anywhere, your favorite podcasting platform. I got these dope shirts, Community Solution, that you can find at raymondwhite.net/shop. And if you're looking for a public speaker, because I recognize that we have spaces where we want to encourage facilitation and communication and collaboration regarding coming together in unity towards a common goal, more particularly creating inclusive communities where every identity belongs and thrives, encouraging the next generation of leaders to stand firm in who they are and be able to lead well once they leave their institutions. Speak life into those spaces. I love to do that. I want to talk with you all on what ways we can strategize and create that opportunities for you and for your leaders, for your teams in that space. So you can let me know as well in the comments and in the direct messaging space, and follow my website at Raymond D. White, on my website, raymondwhite.net, and on all social media at Ray Devante. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Continue to share your story with others, and I'll chat with y'all soon. Peace.